Welcome to the day before the Grand Prix of Indianapolis and the first race of the month of May, which takes place on the road course. And I'm not sure what we're going to expect tomorrow. Is it going to be predictable? Everything except for the pole sitter and the strategy looks like it says it's going to be unpredictable. So I'm holding out a little bit of hope. And if you'd like to see the video tomorrow where I discuss whatever happens tomorrow, be sure to subscribe to this channel. And of course, subscribe to this channel because we have an absolute smorgasbord of content coming here from the month of May in Indianapolis. The cars are on the oval on Tuesday. We've got a bandwagoner's guide on Monday where you'll know all about the cars and the teams and the drivers and the personalities, all that good stuff. And of course, hopefully we'll give you a very good sense of what this race, the Indianapolis 500 and the GP will look like. So go down in the comment section, leave me a comment, like the video, and subscribe if you have yet to do so on this channel. Okay, I feel like I've talked about Alex. I feel like I've said the word Alex and Palou together more than I ever have in my entire life, and that's saying something because I talk about IndyCar racing for a living, but Alex Palou did one of the most amazing things I've ever seen in a qualifying session ever. You can throw Formula One in there, you can throw sports cars in there. I don't care. What he did today was absolutely special. And what I said, I think it was Unverified, or maybe the DL 500 Club, or maybe it was that big long rant video I did about Barber. If you're gonna be boring, which Alex Palou, I don't think he's boring, but I think if you're going to win all the time and you're going to score poles all the time and you're going to dominate races and you're going to do all these amazing things, which I think are incredible, but if you're going to do those things, make them historic. And right now, Alex Palou is on one of the most historic runs we've ever seen in the history of IndyCar racing. And nothing epitomizes that more than the pole lap that he did today in the Fast Six. Not only did Alex Palou lock the brakes up on what was supposed to be his qualifying lap going into the first turn, and for normal human beings that aren't named Alex Palou, that means you are not qualifying on the pole position. But not only did Alex Palou do that, he qualified on the pole position, knocking off all three of the strong Rahal cars as well as two of the Penske's in the Fast Six. But he set a lap time that was faster than anything else had been run the entire weekend, and clearing Graham Rahal by 0.4 of a second. Now, as you're going to hear in this quote, because I asked Alex about this, yes, a big factor in this was the fact that they were able to save a new set of reds for the Fast Six. That allowed Alex Palou to put in that absolute amazing lap. But the fact that he did it after a lockup, I had to ask Alex, how did you do it?
Well, I think there's a couple of stuff there. The first one is I believe I was the only one on sticker alternates in Fast Six, which that's why the bigger difference to P2. But I was surprised as well about the total lap time. Like it was super quick and it felt amazing. I don't know if the track improved a little bit. Probably yes, because also everybody was like in the 69s, right? Like everybody was super fast. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was the wind that changed a little bit, but I could see on the Delta that I was gaining like half a tenth, and I was like, all right, like I'll take it.
And you mentioned some concerns about those tires, using them tomorrow. We kind of expand on that.
I mean, it's never ideal, right? To make big lockups. I did another one in Fast 12 in turn 7. So, yeah, I mean, they're okay because we got pole with those, but obviously it's not ideal to have a big lockup on them. So, yeah, I'll be crying during that stint tomorrow.
So you heard Alex Palou mention the tires and the potential ramifications of that lockup. And I would also probably say that extremely fast lap that he did to put it on the pole, that's going to cause him some troubles later on in the race, or at least during that stint which he uses that set of tires. Now, what strategy call do they make? Will they make a different strategy call than the rest of the field? Will Alex Palou be able to get away into turn one. We'll talk about all that in just a second, but I would like to take a look at the rest of the starting field, all 27 drivers and cars and teams, and how they stack up to try to challenge Palou and take his mantle here at the Indy GP. And I mentioned it's Alex Palou on the pole position for Chip Ganassi Racing, and starting alongside him is Graham Rahal, a driver who has had such great success here, such great speed, but he's yet to take home a victory. He's looking for that tomorrow. It's Rahal in P3 as well. Louis Foster on the inside of row number 2, the rookie. A fantastic qualifying effort from Louis Foster alongside of Scott McLaughlin, who has been fast this year but has yet to score a win. A lot of people in the preseason predicted that Devlin DeFrancesco would be fast here. He did not disappoint. He rolls off from the inside of the third row, again bringing all 3 Rahal, Letterman, Lanigan cars into the Fast 6. Joseph Newgarden, who's had a rough season, there's no doubt about it, so finally begins to find himself towards the front in the month of May on the outside of row number 3. Row number 4 sees Will Power, one of the perennial winners at the beginning of the history of this Grand Prix here in Indianapolis, but he finds himself in P7, still within striking distance. Pato Ward, the fastest of the McLaren drivers in today's race. Alexander Rossi is on the inside of row number 5, alongside Kiffin Simpson, who's shown some great pace and seems to be really stepping into this Ganassi IndyCar very well. He's really starting to come to the front, and in the time that it matters in the season, May. Santino Ferrucci for AJ Foyt Racing rolls off on the inside of row number 6. On the outside of him is Felix Rosenquist, who has been coming to the front rather than falling to the back in races in recent history. And then we get to the odd story in row number 7. Colton Herta, a former winner on this track, is way back in the field, as are all of the Andretti cars in the field. And Christian Lundgaard, who has been so fast on this racetrack, this is the track where he made his IndyCar debut, made his contribution to the racing, where Rahal wanted to hire him, and yet the qualification gremlins continue to bug Christian Lundgaard. 14th spot. Inside of row number 8 is Marcus Armstrong from Meyershank, alongside his pseudo teammate and fellow New Zealander Scott Dixon in P16. Watch that strategy call tomorrow. Let's see how far he gets up the field. Stingray Robb on the inside of row number 9. He had a good solid run at Long Beach alongside of Nolan Siegel. In row 10, it's Christian Rasmussen alongside Marcus Ericsson, who continues to struggle on the natural terrain road courses. And then we get to row number 11, Kyle Kirkwood way back in the field for the Long Beach winner, and Connor Daly. Then it's row 12, Callum Ilott, the first of the Premas, and Rinus VK way back at a track that he has a previous win on. Jacob Abel rolls off for Dale Coyne Racing on the inside of 13 alongside of David Malukas for AJ Foyt, and bringing up the rear is Robert Schwartzman, who has had a nightmare weekend very similar to the one that he had at Thermal. Hardly any track time after mechanical woes have plagued him all weekend long. So let's talk about the strategy a little bit, because there's some confusion, and quite frankly, I was a little bit confused about it. So I'll try to explain it as succinctly as I can, because the drivers explained it pretty well yesterday. I think Felix Rosenquist put it best, that unless something drastically changes, like a yellow early on in the race, maybe even a yellow, in the first third of the race, that's where you could really see a dramatic swing with the strategy. But with the tire rule as it is, where you have to run 2 sets of primaries and 2 sets of alternates, well, this is a race, correctly so, has been a three-stop race in the past. And right now you're required to make 3 stops, and your chances are you're not going to make a 4th. So you're pretty much, everybody's going to be on the same strategy. There's no real difference that you're going to see, at least if the race goes green, like we've seen so many of these races. I mean, the fact that we haven't had yellow since the first turn of the first lap in St. Pete is absolutely historic. It kind of goes with the Alex Palou history angle as well. And we'll see. This race, I believe, went caution-free last year, and Alex Palou won it. So figure that one out. I'm very fascinated by the performance of the Rahal team. They're always good here, but all 3 cars in the Fast 6. And without Alex Palou, they finished first in class, and they would have had a front row sweep. Now, the question is going to be tomorrow. Can the Rahal team, and thanks to my camera guy Kyle for pointing this out, can the Rahal team take control of this race? Can they get around? Can they battle with Alex Palou? Even if you just have somebody absolutely destroy their tires to get in there in the first turn. Devlin DeFrancesco, for example, he did that the last time he was at this racetrack. Bombed it around the outside, got into the lead, and maybe you can challenge Palou from second rather than have to chase him from first. We'll see. I'm very curious to see how Graham Rahal plays the start. Is he going to let Alex Palou get away from him? Can he get the toe, one of the longest straightaways on a road course in IndyCar racing that we'll see on the start tomorrow? Those are all the questions that I have from that perspective. The Andretti team, what an awful weekend for a team that has really done well here in the past. Won races, put drivers in victory lane. They're nowhere. They have a lot of questions to answer. Can anyone beat Palou? That's going to be really the question. If it's not the Rahal team, the problem is right now, I think Christian Lundgaard would have been my pick to beat Palou if he had been at the front. But that team is not qualifying very well, and even if he gets to the podium like he's done many times before, it's going to be a long, hard road, and Alex Palou is going to be well and truly gone. And if Alex Palou wins this race tomorrow, we're going to have to really start talking about the GOAT conversation, because this is one of the craziest things that I've seen in a long time. One of the most tuned-in drivers I've ever seen in a long time. And, you know, I got to give my pal and co-host on Verified, Tony Donahue, all the credit for this particular phrase, but his team truly are the perfect 10s. They don't make a lot of mistakes. There's going to be a lot of pit stops tomorrow. Strategy is going to be what wins this race. Oh, yeah, by the way, you're going to have a fast driver in the cockpit, and Alex Palou just put 4 tenths on the field with a tire that has a flat spot on it. 4:30 p.m. tomorrow on Fox. Be sure to watch it. Hopefully, the fact that it's on a Saturday, you'll see some of that CW Xfinity Riz, and we'll see the number over 1 million. Hopefully we see that. Have a good roll into the month of May and actually get to what we want to see, which is cars going that direction. Thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, subscribe to the channel. This has been David Land on YouTube. We'll see you after the Indy GP.